What's up everybody, it's your boy Duty back again with another video, and today I wanted to quickly take a look at gifted memberships and the impact it has had on our boy DSP gaming channel. As you guys know, the gifted memberships became available sometime, I believe it was May 18th. And prior to that, our boy Phil struggled every month to hit his tier or hit his membership goal for the given month, and he hovered between 250 and 400 members at a given month, depending on the month and depending on how big of the bag Phil did would determine how many memberships he received. So real quick, I just wanted to show you guys a video from this was from May 15th. So gifted memberships, I believe, became available on May 18th, and I just wanted to show you guys how Phil was relying heavily on gifted memberships to save the channel.
That's my problem, is I've had a sharp decrease in income since I left Twitch and came over here to YouTube, and I haven't gotten it back. Okay, so I really feel that until YouTube implements things like the gifted memberships, if someone comes on the stream and says, I want to help out the channel and the people watching, I'm going to drop a membership bomb. 20 members, boom, 20 people immediately get memberships. Maybe not all, but maybe one or two of those people would say, man, I really like the membership, I want to keep it. And this is what happens. And it's it's growth for the channel, and it sucks that they just won't do it. They're testing it right now. They gave it to the big content creators, have it now. Oh, really, how nice, because they really fucking needed it, right? They're not already rolling in dough. They're the ones who need the gifted memberships, right? Right?
Okay, so you guys can hear clearly from DSP how upset he is that the big content creators of YouTube were given gifted memberships, but poor, sad DSP was not. And of course, they need to understand that he needs that money, and apparently they don't. So as you guys can see here, this was again, May 15th, and he was at 388. That was his kind of high point before gifted memberships became available. So quickly, and then you can hear from Phil how he believed that with gifted memberships, that not only would he get the additional monthly income from those memberships, he would get channel growth, and which he calls organic growth. So his philosophy is, if he gets 100 gifted memberships in a given month, maybe 4 to 5 of them may accept those maybe let's say 4 or 5 of them say they like the gifted memberships, and then decide, okay, I'm gonna pay next month and get me, pay for the membership, which will give him quote unquote organic growth. So, if gifted memberships became available in May, we're talking May, June, July, August, September, October, November. We're talking 8 months of potential growth, right? Of potential organic growth, right? So let's just say that 5. Let's just do a random number, and I think it's sensible, right? Depending, looking at the volume of gifted memberships he gets. Let's say that 5 people decide they want to keep those gifted memberships and become paying members, right? So in 8 months, Phil should have had at least a minimum of 40 additional members, right? So this 388 should be hovering at about 420, 425. That should be his baseline, right? At a given month. When either, regardless of whether he received a large amount of gifted subs or gifted memberships or he didn't, he should hover at close to 425. To me, I would think that would be quote unquote organic growth for Phil. Okay, now let's see what happened. So this is the daily wrap from the 18th here, where our boy Phil, of course, the positive chaos, and a couple whales came out and dropped some memberships. I think he ended up, I think he got about 100 the first day or so. But let's just hear how Phil talked about how gifted memberships would save the channel.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for Wednesday, the 18th of May, 2022. What a momentous day. Because, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, it was my day back from break, okay? But also, today, my channel, DSP Gaming, got gifted memberships. Now, we've been talking about this for weeks and months, that if I got gifted memberships, that chances are people would want to help out others, and probably we'd see a giant spike in memberships that would help the channel. Guess what happened today when gifted memberships launched? I got about 100 memberships today. 100. That's right. So we hit our monthly goal for the month of May. We're definitely doing another React event. People are currently voting on what they want to see me react to on the main channel page of DSP Gaming on the community tab. And now we can talk about the future, right? We can. Now that we got the gifted memberships going, we can talk about future events and all kinds of fun stuff. All right. Thank you guys. I mean, the month is still young. If you know, I'm sure there's going to be people gifting more memberships as well if you missed out on it today. Now, the thing is, it works very different than how Twitch did. I'm not going to sit here and talk about the ins and outs of it. We were actually experimenting with it over the course of the day. If you want to watch some of that, go to the pre-stream podcast is when it first happened, okay? Speaking of which, we talked about a lot of stuff on the pre-stream podcast today. Not only the gifted memberships, but we talked about the fact that we got new games coming out.
Okay, no one cares about that. So as you can clearly see here, the daily wrap after gifted memberships became a thing. Phil was super excited and he felt like, okay, now is the point in time where his channel is going to take off and that he was going to benefit greatly from these gifted memberships, right? So we have 8 months. We have 8 months to look at of data. You know, that's there. So you would think, again, in those 8 months, he would see some growth in memberships. And he just hasn't. I mean, from month to month, given the specific months, yes, he does get specific member bombs, but they go away. No one renews those members. So there is no organic growth whatsoever on his channel. So that's kind of what I wanted to focus on, and I wanted to just kind of show you and wanted you guys to hear specifically from DSP on what he believed gifted memberships was going to do for his channel. So let's forward up a little bit here.
Is that when someone has a gifted subscription on Twitch or a gifted membership, say here on YouTube, it's essentially what you would consider a trial run, right? Think about when you get a free trial of any product out there, or a free trial of a subscription to a magazine or a music service or even Netflix or something like that. When you're using the free trial, you get to see the actual benefits of what you get, and some people would be like, oh, that's cool, I didn't pay for it, but I get to test it out. And what used to happen on Twitch, I can't attest that this will happen on YouTube, but I can only tell you from the 5 years that I was a streamer on Twitch, when people would drop those sub bombs, let's say they dropped, I don't know, a 20 sub bomb. Statistically, maybe 1 or 2 people out of the 20 would like the gifted sub and say, you know what? I want to keep this going. I'll choose now to extend my sub, and it'll actually be an ongoing permanent sub for Phil and a way for him to get consistent support, because I tested it with the free one and I really liked it. You see? That's nice to give people a free trial, and it actually does become long-term support. You're absolutely right when you think, oh, well, the gifted subs are just short-term support, right? Well, gifted memberships would only be just initial short-term support, but it can very much translate into long-term support if people like what they get in the trial. You see?
Okay, you heard from Phil's voice, if they like what they get from the trial. So Phil's assumption is that if he gets at least 20 members, let's say 1 or 2 of them should re-up it and become paying members. So let's just say, let's do 100, because 100 is a nice round number. He expects about 5 to 6 people to renew. So 8 months of gifted memberships, he should have anywhere between 40 to 45 net gain members that are continuously paying for his, for these memberships. Now, the high watermark, again, before gifted memberships was 388. That was the high mark. He was at 388 here the day before, or a few days before gifted memberships was going to go. So we're going to use that as the kind of low point. That's the starting point, 388. Let's fast forward here to today's daily wrap video, right? And actually, no. Well, what I wanted to show was where he is. Today. So let's go my channel. Here it is.
My powers are
Oh my lord, I don't have ad blocks. My bad. Hold on. I'll skip the ad.
We should be able to maybe even wrap it up as a night stream, okay? All right, no,
I
you cannot. We cannot extend the
don't
stream.
have
I was
it
actually
here. Hold on a
start making
second.
dinner
Wrong
soon. We're
channel.
starving.
Wrong
so-
video. Is it here? Yeah, here it is. mute this. Okay, so right here you can see yesterday he had 480 members. All right, that's where he's at right now. He's at 480. We all know that Emil dropped 100 members, or did 100 member drop, gifted memberships last month, which are expected to expire, I think, on the 24th or the 25th. And we have here, of course, Phil talking about it, right? So if no one re-ups those memberships, right? Let's say no one re-ups those memberships, and let's just say that Emil doesn't drop another $100 membership drop, you know, or another whale does, right? That means that Phil would drop to 380. Phil would drop to 380. That would be his actual net membership count. That's where he's at, because if no one's re-upping those free gifted memberships, then it's a loss. You can't count that as growth. So if, let's just say, Emil doesn't send another 100 members or gift another 100 members, or I see one other whale, right? That means that Phil would drop to 380 members. Mind you, before gifted memberships was the thing, Phil was at 388. So in the span of 8 months, Phil essentially has gained a net member, a net member increase of -8 members. -8 members. So he is essentially doing worse with these gifted memberships. Now, yeah, he gets the short-term support. You know, if he gets 100 members, he gets those. He gets the money for those gifted, those gifted memberships. But it's not long-term growth. His channel, essentially, as many of us have stated, is essentially dying. It's dying. You can look at the data. You can look at the views. One of the things that I talked about is that at the beginning of the year, he was averaging about 750,000 views on his channel. He's under 600. He's near 600,000. He's about 600 to 625,000 views per membership. That's a significant drop. So he's lost 100,000 viewers, which translates to ad revenue, which translates to people maybe giving him super thanks or maybe deciding to become members. So all that kind of, I know he says views don't matter, right? Until they do matter for him, but he states views don't matter. But it does, because it correlates support. It correlates how much money you would get, it correlates how much ad revenue you get. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight that and talk about that, where if you look at, the time period of 8 months that Phil's had gifted memberships, he has netted a total of -8 members. Essentially, that's where he is. So yeah, so just wanted to highlight that. Apparently, gifted memberships did not save the channel. Oh my Lord. Anyway, hope you guys found this video informative. Peace out.